Yes, sir, ski. Next gen Nvidia GPU release season is on the way and my wallet is telling me no, but the PC master race is telling me yes, do it.
Gangland.
Hey, what that tech do, what the business is, you already know. It's your country cousin, your country can folks. Shout out to K-I-N-G, the King with the tech and all that good like that there, little buddy. Welcome back to Gangland, big boy GPU for the frames land. And yes, sir, it's about that time. And the Nvidia rumor mill has been coming through with the gospel on the latest from Team Green GPU drops, and the graphics horn me is all ready to bust it wide open. Yeah, my wallet that is, chasing the ever elusive GPU to beat them all. So if you didn't know, it sounds like Nvidia is ramping up to let us know just how much they're ready to price gouge us for the pleasure of owning the best of the best of the best in the GPU marketplace later this month. So in essence, that means the leaks are gonna start to leaking and the reseller market is gonna start to creeping. Yes, sir. Speaking of these insane GPU prices, I want to know in the comments down below how much you think the MSRP of the flagship RTX card is going to run us this time. Now we know that last time around the MSRP of the 2080 Ti was about $999 for the Founders Edition if you could find it, and the aftermarket cards went for about $1,213 if you could find it. But with all that being said, yes, Nvidia on Monday the 10th of August, our month of entanglement, posted a teaser through the official Nvidia GeForce account on Twitter with a 21-day countdown featuring a supernova, you know, 21 Savage out here, along with the side message of hashtag the ultimate countdown, 21 days, 21 years, with many believing this to be a reference to the OG GeForce 256, which is way before my time in PC gaming. Okay, boomer.
Okay, boomer.
But interesting nonetheless. It was then announced about a day later that September 1st will be the official announcement date for the new GPU family from Nvidia. Now, if you're curious as to why I'm so excited about this next gen GPU drop, well, that's because the rumors have been mentioning some thick specs for whatever the 2080 Ti successor, the current big dog stomping the yard, is going to have on deck, which is expected to be named the RTX 3090. And trust me, big dog, when I say thick, I mean Cardi B thick. I mean Meg Thee Stallion thick. And for my white homies, I mean Christina Hendricks thick. Like for real, if you take a sip from Christina's Coke bottle, just know you got diabetes off the rip. You understand me, boy? But let me go over the rumor specs real quick, and you will be wishing that you weren't the broke boy that you is. Trust me. Now, first off, the next flagship in the GPU family has been rumored to feature 24 gigabytes of GDDR6X memory at the top end. Now, to put that in perspective, the 2080 Ti currently maxes out at about 11 gigs, so that's more than double, and that's a big double. It's not quite the same as going from 4 to 8 or 8 to 12. Like, this is a big ass jump. There's also rumored to be a 20 gigabyte variant, which is cute. Ooh, but you already know we want that big Mr. Nasty time in our rigs, nothing less. And although I'm holding back my expectations for these high on paper specs because it sounds too good to be true, not to mention that a couple of days later, Micron, the manufacturers of said memory, kind of sort of leaked that the 3090 will max out at about 12 gigabytes of VRAM, which sounds more realistic, but who wants realistic at these price points? I know I don't. I want that upper echelon, baby. And to go along with speaking on the price points, a Chinese manufacturer may have leaked out the price range for the 3090 series, and I gotta say, Shouty is not a happy boy because it's looking like the launch price for these cars will fall somewhere between $1,300 to $1,800, depending on how the car will be spec'd out with various aftermarket features. Ew. And sadly, woe is me, the successors to the 2080 and 2070, so on and so forth, won't be seeing the same spec bump, but the move to the Ampere architecture should still do the mid-range well, as most games right now max out at about 8 gigabytes of VRAM usage anyway, so we should be straight. Speaking of the Ampere processor tech, it's rumored that we'll see a 20% increase in performance, but you know, let's be honest, with Nvidia's recent trends, that'll probably equal out to about a 10% increase on average in most real-world use case scenarios, which has been letting us down over the last few years, but you know the old saying, beggars cannot be choosers. But the most pressing issue for me is not really the performance, because I know it'll have to be better than what we currently have to make any sense in the motherfucking marketplace. Now, the real concern is the price and availability. Even without the macaroni sickness being a thing, the launch of the 2080 Ti was just plain horrible, just plain abysmal. Now, even if you could afford the bit markup of the aftermarket cars, it was stupid dumb difficult to lock in a purchase with shortages ranging for months after the initial launch. And I can admit that I'm hard pressed to believe that this launch will be any different with the current state of the world and with Nvidia owning the market share for the top-end GPU tech currently. They have too much power and no incentive to fight for the customer's hard-earned money. Now, in a world where no other GPU manufacturer can compete really, And hopefully this will change in the future, but it won't happen anytime soon, sadly. And I mean, you can look at how Intel treated its customers until AMD stepped up and changed the GPU market for the foreseeable future. But anyway, here's hoping that at the very least, those who want the quote-unquote bleeding edge and video card goodness, the cards will be available at something closer to suggested MSRP, but I won't be holding my breath. But I will most definitely hold my breath while you head down below this video. Hit that like button, drop a comment or two if you please, and of course, what's considered proper etiquette in the YouTube space is thumping that subscribe button. You know, Kangland greatly appreciate it. I'm pretty sure the Kang folk will too. But you already know the motto. Big dog, I got to go. Games, tech, success. What else you need? And I'm out here. Kangland.